What's up, jobbers? Welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, Nestlemania, alongside for the ride is a man that told me to my face, I hate you, Dad. JC.
Say it to my face. All-time banner of a theme song.
But you hate me, Dad, right?
I do, absolutely. Yeah, you suck.
Thank you.
And I also love Dom way more than Ray, so because he's way cooler.
Who doesn't love Dom with that haircut, right?
I know. I was a Judgment Day, and I think people are finally starting to come on the side of the fun. But you know what? Speaking of fun, we start the show one way. We're gonna get to Extreme Rules. We're gonna get to AEW. We're gonna get to NXT and all that stuff later in the show. We'll get to the fucking QR codes and the rabbits that are white and shit like that too. But we only start this show one way, Nestlemania. That is in the shine, always in the shine. Much like Mandy Rose, the measuring stick of NXT, the greatest women's champion of all time. But for me this week, I'm going to start with a different champion on Monday Night Raw. That a show that, beyond this, I might not be super positive about this week, but to me, there's a lot of reasons why the Bobby Lashley, Mustafa Ali segment and match were my favorite part of the week. One, because Bobby Lashley is a stud, and I don't think he's been getting a lot of credit lately, obviously, like he deserves, but he is like the definition of what you would want in a babyface champion and how he does it. He's done a great job, which we know is hard to do. He's dominant, but what I love about this reign is he is defending the title a lot. He is defending the title on TV a lot, and he is defending it against a wide variety of different guys. This week, it was Mustafa Ali who kind of demanded a match with him backstage, and Bobby doesn't back down. So we also get this Mustafa Ali, a guy that really doesn't get used a lot, and we got to see a matchup that, if we've seen it before, I don't really remember it, and they never really got this time. And I thought Lashley went out of his way in this match to make Mustafa Ali look great and get his stuff in. And we know Mustafa Ali's great and makes other people look great. Excuse me. So this was by far my shine of the week, Nestlemania, and I loved everything about this.
I'm surprised that they're starting off the show with this, but I will say I love the presentation of Lashley in general. I love the backstage segment with Mustafa Ali. I don't know if we're calling him Mustafa Ali or Ali. It just seems like we're going
I think it's Mustafa Ali. I think it's
just the way things were, essentially.
Yeah.
But
he had gotten it back, I think, before Vince left too.
Oh, okay. So anyway, it was a great matchup. I love what I really love about this is that this is good because it was an example of the fact that you can enjoy wrestling that not just is for wrestling's sake. It was wrestling with a story. And I think that's the difference where I enjoy wrestling with a story. I don't love just these thrown together wrestling matches. And I think
we'll get to those.
We'll get to those. Yeah, exactly. But the one thing I will say is this stood out to me because it was more of a Ali. Does he have the heart? Can he keep up? Do all this stuff? And he never gave up. And Lashley gave the Undertaker look when he kicked out of stuff. And the whole part of like the heart, he won't quit. I love that portion of that character for Ali. And Bobby, like you said, went out of his way for him. And Bobby, for the most part, we make a joke that he's just like this overbearing, like hulking man that just slams people around. But he gave a lot of the offense away and gave it to Ali, which I think even that what was it, the 450 onto the arm, that part right there, like he could have legitimately snapped the arm. I mean, he's a tree trunk of a man. It doesn't matter, but it was good. It gave the opening like, oh, that's logical. He may not be able to put the hurt lock on, folks. It makes sense. It makes absolute sense. And that's what makes me happy when I'm watching something, when I can get lost in something. I have a giant smile on my face. There are a couple spots here on SmackDown and Raw specifically that had smiles on my face. This was one of them because I think Ali does a great job. I'd love to see Ali do more. I don't know if we're going to get it, but I think his best days are going to be in a tag team, personally, because I think that's where somebody like him can pair up with somebody maybe a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, and he can be the speed versus the power kind of thing. And I think those are the tag teams that you can enjoy.
Well, I will also say, like, a note on that is him and Cedric, the heart and soul of the former 205 Live Cruiserweight division. They have actually been working a lot of tag teams together on main events. So that is something maybe we could see translate. Not exactly the blueprint you put out, but I think they're two guys that would just be fun because they're both incredibly talented, as we know. But even like after the show, like we know, like Lashley was trying to shake his hand in the ring. Seth came out, curb stomped, set up the match for next week, which once again, Bobby, a fighting champion, will defend against Seth Rollins, which I thought was kind of interesting considering Seth has a big match on Saturday. But I think that just kind of adds to the intrigue of what Monday could mean. But Nestlemania, one last note on this before we move on. Another reason why I led the show with this is because you know what else Bobby Lashley does? He respects the goddamn brand split. So bravo, Bobby Lashley. You don't see this motherfucker getting blue on Friday nights. He stays on red. We see him once a week on the Red Show, which keeps him fresh, keeps him interesting, as it should be for the majority of people. Because we know, like, probably everyone else we're going to talk about in the show, none of them respect the brand split because they're on both shows this week, which is probably why I'm down in a lot of shit. But I just wanted to throw that in. Now, since I said that, Bobby Lashley's probably going to show up on SmackDown, but whatever, fuck me. So you said you were surprised that I led the show with this. So
yes,
I'm looking at my other stuff, and there's nothing that I loved as much as this. So I'm curious what you liked the best this week.
I got, for some reason, I just got a big smile on my face when I was watching two things. I'll start with the one that I know you'll enjoy, which was Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah, this would have been my next thing.
It to me, like, yeah, I'm in my bed, I'm tired, whatever. But when this motherfucker comes on my TV,
you jump out of bed and
I just love him. I don't care if he's a babyface, a heel. I don't care if he's in the background, foreground, whatever. He is just so much fun. And the match he had, where, and again, he went out of his way. He didn't have to have Otis let him flip him over the table. That suplex that Gable gave him, I was just so enamored with the whole thing. And again, it's not that it's going to be a bad match. It's a good match because anytime Chad Gable sniffs a ring, it's good. But this was a match that made me take away from my normal everyday worries and enjoy. And that's what Braun Strowman does for me. I just enjoy it. I stop thinking. I shut off my brain and I go, here's this giant man who's going to make me smile. That's it. And he just does it. And Gable did a great job. He got more offense in than I expected. Mm-hmm. And that, again, these are things that I'm looking forward to when I go to watch my TV shows on Monday night, on Friday night. I want stuff like this.
Yeah, and the reason I obviously loved it for all the same reasons. And as you know, like Braun and Gable are always been JC guys, always will be, because they're so good. To be a JC guy, you got to be incredible. And these two guys are incredible for very different reasons, obviously. But the reason why, much like the last match, that I put this match above a lot of what I saw this week is that they built this match since last week of like building it up as a thing. Like first Braun saying, I'm going to see you next week, and Gable being scared. Then we get to SmackDown and they're still building it. Then we get to Monday and Gable's giving us a little backstory being like, I was your teacher, Braun, down at NXT. I was training you, showing you the ropes, showing you how to get it done. So it's just little things to add along the way that it's just like, this is one thing that I get so frustrated, and it's more so with AEW. It's just like, boom, random match, go wrestle for 20 minutes, woo, 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 yay! But it's like what usually can separate WWE is that they build up these things and make them matter. I think AEW has gotten a lot better with certain things and with certain guys doing that, but with WWE, they've kind of like, there's been a lot of stuff lately, and like you bring it up as well, where it's just like, oh yeah, random match with two guys that are awesome, and it's a good match, but just like whatever. This one had that little extra of story on top of it and background, and they built it up. So when they finally meet, like it has your attention. So
I tend to agree with you. I think if I could theme this entire show, it's random wrestling versus storytelling. That's exactly the difference between what I enjoy versus what I don't enjoy.
Yep.
So it is what it is. There's not a lot left, I don't think, that I can speak to.
Two pieces of
okay, I'll let you go.
Left. One is, and I mean, this isn't fast forward, but I think both groups are better off. LA Knight is coming. It's pretty much a done deal. He blows off the male models. But what I loved about this is Obviously, we're going to get LA Knight, who was a super fun character in NXT. If you're not familiar with him, the guy is one of the best on the mic. He's a decent enough wrestler, and he's a lot of fun. He's going to bring a lot of that like extra type things, and I think he's going to start as a babyface, which we saw at the tail end of his NXT run, which I definitely want more of that. But on the other end, because I know you've been saying all along, like, what's going to happen to the male models? Well, first off, Nestlemania, they're going to get a different name because Maxine's male models, perfect. It works. She works as like their valet. They can throw in the Lotharios with them. They can have a whole thing. Will they ever get elevated super high? Probably not, but I think they're a fun act with good wrestlers, an interesting enough gimmick where they're going to be on TV enough. She's super fucking hot. Massey and Mansoor are hilarious. Angel and Humberto can go. That, you know what? I think both parties are better off because as much as I thought the Max Dupree character did have some potential, I'm more excited for a babyface LA Knight in the short term. So give me that. Let him go his own way. Let them go their own way. I think this is a breakup that makes a lot of sense.
I think you're burying the lead here because this was the most maximum male models I think we've ever seen on SmackDown. Yeah. So for anybody who says it's dying, I got news for you, folks.
Get a clue.
We talked about this last week about how Triple H probably won't, dip into the pool of, humor that Vince likes with the pee and poo and like the, giving birth to a hand and all that nonsense. But Triple H does like sophomore humor. He is part of DX. So I feel like the maximum male models thing would be something he would make fun of. So I feel like it would be there. So I think they're going to be safe for a while. But the other thing that I enjoyed was that it was the conduit to other things like the KO going, I think your hand needs to be higher for the post account, then walking by, then seeing the Sami Zayn thing and being like, you need a new t-shirt. That's great. So it's like, there's a conduit here where it was like 3 segments. That's a lot of TV time, especially in 2 hours. There was 3 segments there. They were doing the posing, the initial, the KO, and then the LA Knight, I think with the, it wasn't for me kind of thing. So I think they're fine. Do they need to be wrestling? I don't think so. I think they're perfectly fine doing what they can. I'm surprised you're holding the pose. If you could hold that pose for the rest of the entire show, I would be shocked.
I can't do that because one, I already I can't sit still. And two,
of course
I've been drinking coffee, so it's like I'd be like jittery as fuck.
It's a great visual for you to lose your hands, like while you're doing stuff. Like you'd look like coked
my
out.
jazz hands. Yeah. Samoa Joe.
My favorite is Bandito. Whatever that.
God, we'll get to that because we had a request from one of our favorite
Cap.
viewers that wants more AEW in the show. We're gonna give it to you, especially this week. Last piece of shine, WrestleMania. I'll say this, and I mean everything else surrounding all this bullshit is heat, so it's a perfect transition. But I thought Bianca beat the fuck out of Bayley on the mic, and it just showed that as much as I love Bayley, heel Bayley on the mic, she can't hang with when Bianca's in her groove. I didn't think she could hang with her, so I thought Bianca did a great job. But anything else, Damage Control or this 6-person fucking bullshit that we've seen for 2 months, get them off my TV, Nestlemania.
Get them off my TV, baby.
So this is the best example of why I Raw could not hold my attention last night, and I thought WWE over the past few weeks has slowly been devolving into this. Is obviously we got the overexposure, but what also comes with the overexposure is even if the matches aren't the same, it's the same type of bullshit every week. Io Alexa in the main event. Well, before it was Alexa and Dakota, and then we have Dakota versus Candace, which at least was a little different, but it's you have all the same people just keep on mixing and matching and rerunning, and it's just it's tiring. If it was once a week and just on Raw for all these women, it wouldn't be as bad because we'd get a taste of it. We'd probably enjoy it more, but they're all over fucking SmackDown, hearing the same music and entrances every week, seeing the same type of people in the ring together every week. It gets kind of stale. And for me, it's very stale right now. It's just Bianca and Bayley's going to be a banger. Bayley might actually win. I'm excited for that portion of it at Extreme Rules, but a lot of it's Raw literally could not hold my attention last week. Once we got through Ali Lashley, I just couldn't. I'm doing other things at the same time out of boredom. So it's just I think you might be on the same page with that, but I'm curious your take.
Well, that we talked about this. Damage Control, folks, is just not working. It's just not. And that's not to say the 3 women aren't great. We've talked about this over and over again.
We all want it to work.
We all want it to work. We all want to enjoy it. We all want to boo or cheer or whatever. But there's a sense of who gives a shit. The thing I will say is the contract signing alone made me feel okay, I can believe this portion of the feud. I can, the story makes sense in that context. In that contract signing, she was saying, yeah, I did it first with a side pony with the girls and the signs and the whole thing. And then, you know, she flipped it and Belair said, yeah, but I'm authentic and you're not, which I thought was a great counterpoint and kind of blew up in Bayley's face, which is what a good heel does, kind of doing whatever. But I think you're right. There is something about the Bayley heel side that doesn't do it. Like, just doesn't go all in. And I think this is the difference maker, where Bayley's too much of a clown and not enough of a killer. Mm-hmm. And I want to see more killer Bayley, less clown. Ha ha, ding dong. Like, I get it, but I want to see less of it. And I think they did sort of kind of do that at the end of the night on Monday, but I felt like it went on forever. Like, it just kept going. And I'm like, where's the fucking copyright? Can I go to fucking bed already? Because this is not keeping my attention, like you said. And all I could think about was, wow, she pinned her with 4 minutes left in the show. Something cool's going to happen. Not really. They just fucking posed on a ladder. Okay, great. So by Nestle's logic, Nestle's rules, Bayley ain't fucking winning at the pay-per-view.
Well, here's the thing. They still have SmackDown to undo it.
That's true.
Yeah. But true. I will say one thing that I was kind of thinking about this, like last night, when it ended, and like you saying it kind of reaffirmed it, is you're dead on about her, like needing to be able to flip that switch. But I think part of it, especially when you have a heel, because there's a lot of great heel champions that can look dominant, not necessarily through them, but like there's usually an enforcer. And Dakota and Io are kind of supposed to be her enforcers, but let's be real. I love Dakota and Io, but they're not like, size sometimes does mean something, or like a mean streak. Io and Dakota obviously don't have the size, and I don't think they have enough of that mean streak yet, where it's like, I believe them as a dominant force. Like, if Damage Control, like you could have their, like, say Bayley's the champion and Io and Dakota are the tag team champions, and then they have a fourth member who's like an enforcer type, then yeah, I could buy it. I mean, one person that I would love, I brought up before, is Alba Fire. She doesn't have the size, but which is, if she's got a flaming bat, like, there's your fucking enforcer. It's like, look at the Bloodline, perfect example. They have the champion, they have the tag champions, they have Goofy Sammy, but then they have the enforcer, Solo Sikoa. So it's like, I mean, Raquel would be perfect just because of her size, but that ain't fucking happening. Nia Vax hopefully is not walking through that door. So I'm not really seeing size as an option. I do think Alba Fire is coming, and I think they could sell me on it. Not as probably easily as someone with size, but just like, I think you need to have an enforcer type in Damage Control to really get them over the hump. That's, to me, would be the easiest solution.
So you said Raquel and an Alba Fire, which I understand. What would you say to a Nikita Lyons or maybe a Lash Legend? Well, there's size there. Do you care? Do you think it would take away?
So I think the difference is I don't think either of them are ready.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like that's why, like, Raquel was Dakota's enforcer right away, but it was in NXT. So we kind of got to watch her develop, and she did great down there, which is why she became champion, then got called up. But I mean, Lash, we agree, like, she has a great character. I also don't see her in a women's group because I don't believe her getting along with any woman. That's why I kind of love her with Pretty Deadly, because it fucking is perfect. As much as you hate it, it's just like their personalities work, and it makes sense. Especially with like the way Pretty Deadly do their gimmick, having Lash is perfect. Oh my God, and Nikita is just, I think she's going to end up being a polarizing figure. I don't think she's ever going to be fully heel, because it's just like, there's going to be such a slobbering part of the internet that's always going to keep her babyface, because people are just going to be drooling over fucking all of that. So I don't know if
don't put out any tweets. Just don't put out any tweets. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. Well,
you'll be fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's why for me, and I don't think either of them are ready for the main roster. Nikita's going to get called up way too early anyways, but that comes with the territory, but I don't see them as a heel enforcer.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of people that aren't.
Yeah, no, that's why I said there isn't size unless if you did a Raquel or brought someone back. So to me, it's like Alba Fire with their flaming bat. Like, I think that's as close as we can get.
I would rather book Alba Fire somewhere else, but that's just
me too, because I think she's one of the most talented women on the roster. But
she just looks different. I like it.
You want to get the entrance is an ode to JC. So
of course it is. It's super hot.
Flames everywhere.
So do you want me to just kind of piss through stuff, or do you want? All right. Yeah. So we'll start on SmackDown, so I can do logically in my head while I'm looking at all this stuff. We have a great effort here with Sammy and the Solos. And of course Jay's not impressed. You don't fool me. I do like where we're going with this. I feel like it's too early though. I feel like, are we really there yet? I don't think so. I think Sammy just got the t-shirt. So I want to see the t-shirt go for a while before they take him away, but maybe they will milk it for all it's worth. I have no idea. It just feels a little weird for it to happen now. I don't know how you feel.
No, I agree. I'd slow play it, but if their goal is to do something big at War Games and all these guys are involved and there's a turn there, then yeah. But I want it to be the Usos versus KO and Sammy at WrestleMania and KO and Sammy to beat them. Like that's, to me, is like the perfect way to cap a story. It ends the year. It gives the Usos like that long reign, and then it gives you the next thing. And I just think, to me, I want that to be far away because Sammy with the bloodline is so fucking good because him and Jay is so good together. Him and Jimmy joking around is so good. Even getting Solo to crack a little bit, like the serious one, enjoying it. And like Roman and Sammy dynamic is so good. The Heyman and Sammy dynamic is so good. It's like, we don't need to rush it, but yeah, no, they're definitely like it seemed like they picked it up a little bit storyline wise, which again, I'm liking everything here. Bloodline is just like there's so much of it, and the matches are just so randomized. It's like, like it's a random tag match against Ricochet and Madcap, which they set up the week before. That's fine. That's why it's like I don't hate it, but it's just like then we get more on Raw, and it's just like it's just too much.
Yeah, and Solo won a big match, with the whole thing on Monday where
as he should, like, he's a stud.
He is a stud, and I think people who don't like him would be like, "Oh, he's just a type of prototypical." What is that? I can't even talk. Prototypical Samoan, and I was like, name me one bad Samoan wrestler.
Yeah, and also Solo's so different. And to me, like I have how AEW does their 4 pillars. Yeah. For me, I have the 4 pillars in the men's division of NXT 2.0. It's Braun, Mello, Solo, and Waller. I think those 4 are the future of this fucking industry.
You're not putting Tony D in there. Wow.
Tony D's right there. He's right there, but it's just I had the trouble with like, who am I taking off? Maybe you put Braun above them, and then the other 4 are the 4 pillars, and Braun's like
the foundation. He's the roof.
Braun's the foundation. Braun's everything else. They're the pillars. Because Tony D, I think, is someone there, but I don't know. I don't know. I think his gimmick, like I love the gimmick, but I think that's the one that's the easiest to fuck up. Where the other guys, like their gimmick is who they are. They don't really need to worry about it. So
here's hoping you're right. I mean, it seems like most of them are full-fledged, made men already. No pun intended.
Yeah, no, I mean, the 2 I'm least worried about are fucking Solo and Mello and Grayson, because those guys are just like the way they are already can work for the next 20 years.
Yeah. All right.
Braun's gonna. I mean, Braun. Like we get in arguments in the thread. You and I are like, this guy's a WrestleMania main eventer. Yeah. It's just he's a guy that is gonna need more work into him because he's fucking the least experienced of them all.
And I think that's the hardest part is that people look at Braun Breaker, the Steiner, and they go, he's not a world champion. I'm like thinking to myself, his uncle probably was like a 5-time champion.
He's already this good with like a year and a half experience in wrestling. It's the same thing. This is the same thing like I said about Bianca, about Corbin, all these people that you can see it. You see like the little pieces, but they're so fucking raw. They might suck right now, or there might be things you don't like right now, but like literally go watch the first year of Bianca in NXT. Like you're going to be like, oh, she was terrible at everything. Like all she had was the look and you saw little pieces, but in the ring, she was brutal. On the mic, when they tried to make her babyface, it was rough. So, but look at her now. She's the best women's wrestler on the planet. So it's just like patience. Take a look at the lawn picture with Braun. There's a reason why they're going to keep in NXT for a little bit.
Yeah, I would expect him to keep there for a while because he needs, like I said to Danny, I said, he's had like 45 matches, like ever.
Most guys, when they get to WWE, have 400 matches.
Yeah, Jericho's had over thousands. It's like he's going to get there. And I think for people to think he's not world championship material is ridiculous because he's an amazing athlete. Like you look at him, you're like, that's a dude on a truck. Yeah. You look at him and you go, okay. And he's got the Steiner lineage and he's a good looking man. Like
he's going to be polarizing, but again, that's not a bad thing. Roman Reigns and John Cena, polarizing. The Rock was polarizing for a while. Stone Cold even polarizing is good. There's a reason why Ronda Rousey's probably going to main event fucking Extreme Rules this weekend. Polarizing.
Main event, I don't know, but we'll talk about that later.
We can talk about that because I look at that card and tell me what's going to be.
Can I put on my extensive booking hat real quick and tell you what I think Extreme Rules is going to be?
Let's see.
I think I'm going to say you're going to start. I think you end. Let's do that. You're going to end the night in Fight Pit with DC. I think that's a big enough. I think that
starts.
No, it's either got to begin or end, and it can't be somewhere in the middle because they got to take the ropes off. So it has to be the beginning. I would think if it was me, again, I'm probably wrong. We know this. I know I'm habitually wrong about everything, folks. So it's fine. Just ask my wife. So it's different. I think that the Fight Pit, if here's the thing. This is the logic that I have. If you're introducing DC, if you're, I'm gonna lean on you for the UFC stuff in case I'm wrong because you're the UFC guy.
DC
he's a legend. He's like
amazing.
But here's the other thing too: is if you present him at the beginning, he's not as important, right? And the other thing is if you put him at the end of the night, he seems more important, right? So you have to put him in the, you know what I mean? So DC at the end of the night, I would put him there. I would start the night off with the ladder match with Bianca and Bayley. That's what I would do in Extreme Rules.
I think the ladder match would be a good place to start as well. I don't know. It feels to me like, Rousey's the face of the poster. Like she's the biggest name on the card. I feel like that's the main event. But again, the main event, it could be Karrion Kross and McIntyre if there's going to be something that, you know what I mean?
Happens,
no, I'm just saying it wouldn't be the match. It'd be what happens after. If they have some big thing planned, if White Rabbit pays off this weekend, which I don't think will, we can get more into that later, then whatever that could be the end of the night. But I think if we're just looking at the card and we all expect them just to end as they're going to end, I think Rousey's probably the main event.
I would think that you're wrong. Honestly, God, I think you're wrong.
We'll see.
I think you're wrong, but we'll see. We'll see, folks. I don't know. I don't disagree with a lot of what you're saying. I just disagree that Ronda Rousey should be the main event. But
she's the biggest name on the card. She's the face on the poster.
I'm not saying
there is literally Ronda freaking Rousey.
I understand that, but that's Seth freaking Rollins. Don't you forget about it, pal.
Yeah, well, as he said, he's like, he'll never be the top guy in the Roman era, and he's right. Like, Seth Rollins is amazing. Seth Rollins is one of the top guys.
I died a little inside when Seth Rollins said, if I could be his Edge to his Cena, his Macho Man to Hogan. And I went, that's not so fucking bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Seth Rollins
he's in an incredible position, but like most people, you should want to be the number one guy. So I don't mind that at all. But he also he understands. It's like he knows he can be, but it's just like Roman is Roman's an all time generational, which Seth is too. But Roman's the pinnacle of that.
Pinnacle, you say?
Pinnacle.
Interesting. I lost my train of thought here. Where we are? We already
did you were pissing through the random fucking matches that didn't mean shit this week.
Ronda beats Natty in over just 3 minutes. Woohoo! Okay, happens. Whatever. We move on to. I'm just gonna move on to. I don't even want to talk about the 6-man waste of time at the end of the night.
Oh, you mean stupid. That was.
We're not 6-man tags. An example, folks, of why it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Moving on to Raw Judgment Day. I hate you, Dad. That made me kind of laugh, but folks, we're in week 52 of this they're not touching each other. They're not hitting each other yet. It's just
I'm not
it's you. It gets to a point where I'm like, I just want to see Dom and Ray wrestle at this point. Cause I know they're saving it for WrestleMania.
Probably WrestleMania. It's going to be
that's 6 months away.
That's fine. Judgment Day.
WrestleMania.
When I watched Raw last night, I care about Judgment Day because at least they're interesting. They do a lot of things like you said, they have little daddy lines. I'm always watching what Rhea's doing. I'm always watching what Finn's doing. I love AJ's interaction with them. The Edge promo later in the night put me to sleep, but that's beside the point. But it's that, and then the Lashley Ali, that stuff had my attention, and maybe a few minor details. But besides that, it's just random matches. Oh, the same people are wrestling on SmackDown that wrestled on Raw. Thanks. Yeah.
No, I don't disagree with you. I'm curious where we go with this because it seems like we're at
War Games.
It's okay, after War Games, then what? It's you got to find another. Are we really? We're not getting Bloodline versus Judgment Day. I don't think that's a thing. I really don't.
It's the Judgment Day versus Team Edge and Ray.
Oh my God, that promo that I was sitting there. I'm like, you know what? I jinxed myself too because I was thinking they're going. They said Edge wasn't there. I'm like, this is great. And then of course he's sitting there talking about shit about life in general, about how he'll never quit. And I'm like, okay, he's not fucking losing. And then he talks about how he's selfish, and he's stubborn and all. And I was like, of course you are, motherfucker, because you're taking up my TV and you're talking for 45 fucking minutes. Get over yourself. Literally nothing he said needed to be said. That's what I'm trying. If you're going to get in front of a microphone on TV, mind you, you better add to what the fuck you're doing. Because some of these things they do with promos is just for sound bites. I get that. But this shit that he did in the ring, Absolutely didn't need it. I was sitting there thinking to myself, why is Edge even on my TV right now? Just show up on Saturday, beat Finn, and then they're all going to beat you up again like you said in your goddamn promo. It doesn't matter. Judgment Day is the most dominant, non-winning faction in WWE history.
So true. That's a good way to put it. They're the most dominant losers in WWE history.
Yes, they are the dominant jobbers. That's what they are, the dominant jobbers, folks.
I love that.
It's so bad. It's good. It just makes it's like, yeah, we don't care about wins and losses because who the fuck cares? It's like, great. Why are we wrestling? Why are we in this realm? Who cares? Sorry. Just, it bothers the fuck out of me. It does. It does.
I like that. Most dominant jobbers in WWE history. It works for me.
It is. I can't speak more to it. It's just, it bothers the fuck out of me. Moving on. I guess it's time to talk about the tweet that Bertsky wants to talk about here. I think that, somebody, actually, you know what? I'm going to save it. Bertsky. You got to listen to us longer. I just want more views. Moving on. I'm going to go as a kind of a tease right there. Do you care about the Miz and Dexter stuff? I feel like next week is going to be fun for his birthday.
Well, it's just, I'm glad that Miz on the phone with Maurice addressed, where the hell is Ciampa? Because I've been wondering the same thing. It's like, is he done with the Miz and he's gonna come back as fucking old
DIY,
or is he been kidnapped by Dexter and Miz is gonna go and Ciampa's gonna be floating in his pool or fucking tied up or something so it's one of those things week to week. Again, like I said last week, they're not doing anything, but I want something to happen,
right?
So it's there's at least that, but yeah, no, it feels like we need something to develop soon.
We know next week someone's coming out as Barney the dinosaur or for the birthday, we know some balloons are going to get pop or there's going to be a giant present in the ring. We understand this is Dexter. We're going to get it. But what I would like here is to flip the script a little bit and not have anything happen in the ring. Have something happen backstage where he jumps out of a cake or something. That would be fun. But at this point, do you
Happy birthday, Miz Dexter?
Yeah, it's like, do you want physicality? Do you what do you want from this? There needs to be a finish to this.
It's one of those things where it's the lead up's going to be better than the payoff with this. And I don't care because I know the Miz, whatever happens is going to make it as good as it possibly can be. It's one of those things with Dexter. He was always intriguing. He was always interesting. You can do different types of things with that character. But once you get to a wrestling match, most of the luster is gone at that point, but it's usually worth it because he's so interesting. But I am just curious, where do all these people go from here? Miz and Ciampa, where do they go from here? Obviously it wasn't by mistake that the Miz ran into Gargano in the hallway, who knows Dexter very well. And Gargano was freaking Dexter. Cause he knows he dealt with all the crap with Dexter. And then he married his daughter. So,
I don't know. I look at this and I think the Miz will be unscathed. He'll figure it out. He'll move on to something better. He's the Miz. He's bulletproof, baby, like you said. And Dexter's great, but I don't know, after the Miz, what do you do? What do you do with Dexter? Is it
same
the
shit
way?
with? I don't know. The way it's just. Yeah, it is. That's gonna be.
I don't think you can with the other stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Not yet. No, we gotta watch.
Not yet. It'll be 6 months to a year, maybe after WrestleMania, we can get this going.
Triple H has that trump card in his pocket when he needs it to just bust out the way. So
I just don't see that happening anytime soon. I really don't. Moving on to stuff that is leaving a bad taste in my mouth specifically. I'm not necessarily in love with. We talked about EO and Bliss, but here's the other thing. I just don't know if I like these. Well, I don't know if I liked Dawkins versus Solo specifically, but I just wanted to say that it sucks. It absolutely sucks. I had no idea that Montez Ford was gotten a boot. I had no idea.
I didn't know either. Yeah.
And I think that Dawkins is done. In the water.
You've been trying to do this for years, and the guy, he's a great.
He's the best hot tag in the business, though. I will give him that.
He's a great tag team wrestler. Everyone's been trying to break up the Street Profits for years, and they're not because they're still a top 2 tag team in WWE and have been for 3 years. It's just it's gonna be fine. Yeah, it's a setback for them as a tag team in the tag division, but you've been complaining all the time. What are they doing? They've already done 10 times. Well, here you go, Nestlemania. Here's your cool off to get other tag teams involved with the Usos. So you get what you fucking want, you fucking whiner.
Can I just say for the moment, there is no tag team division. It feels like there's literally just them talking around.
Well, there is. We got Hit Row and the male models doing their things. SmackDown's showing off all the tag teams. I mean, the Raiders must be out on a quest So we haven't seen them, and New Day must be I don't know what New Day's doing.
They're waiting for a new beginning. Yeah.
But
ridiculous.
no, on Raw, it's like the Alpha Academy is probably the most seen tag team, but it's like they're fighting as solo stars.
Yeah.
Judgment Day, I guess, could be a tag team, but they're getting like a multi thing. The Mysterios are dead because Dom doesn't want anything to do with his stupid dad. I can't blame him. So yeah.
It's just hard. It's just really hard to think there's literally no tag teams, and the tag team division.
There's tag teams. They're just not doing the division.
They're not doing anything. They're just there's no focus on the tag team division is what I'm thinking. That's what I think. Yeah. That's all. The Bloodline might as well have those things. They might as well just be costume props at this point. Who cares?
Well, that's the thing is, as great as the Bloodline is, it does kind of like, it makes it hard to like, They're
not going to be the greatest ever if they don't do anything.
Well, no, they're hoarding. They are the greatest ever. That's not a discussion.
So hoarders are always great because they hold on to stuff. Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, their work the past fucking year has proven why they are. It's just one of those things now. Like, we're in a different position. It's like the story is more of like, they're going to defend their titles like they have been doing. There'll be random challengers here and there. The new one's probably coming soon. They'll defend them at Crown Jewel, I'm sure. So we'll see.
Very quickly, do you think that Seth Rollins and Riddle during that exchange, the no touchy, did you expect them to go lowbrow again with you can't see your kids, child support's a lot of money, and then, hey, you're a second fiddle to Roman and your wife? Do you feel like that adds to a fight? Because I feel like there's two trains of thought, JC, and you can tell me which way you lean. There's the UFC style of like how they promote a fight and the press conference where everybody just talks shit about each other. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, but then they fucking dap gloves and hug when they go to fight. So
exactly.
It's scripted just like wrestling.
Right. Or do you prefer that, like, do that once in a while, or are they going to the well too much here?
No, I think the first time you hear it, like, that's the oh shit moment. And like Rollins has said it like 15 times now. So it's just like, it's like, I get it because you're reminding us, but it's like, it's never gonna pop me like the first time I heard it. You know what
like,
it is?
Congratulations, you're not a great dad. You know what I mean? Like, why would you say that? Like, that doesn't, like, I understand.
Seth Rollins is supposed to be a piece of shit.
Right, but the other thing too is
that's just what he is. That's his character. Like,
but why not say something like you can't pass a piss test? You know what I mean? Like, that would be funny.
Because it's not like, that's not an insult. Riddle would be like, yeah, I know. It doesn't matter. We're allowed to do it now.
I don't know. It's just like, it's just when I just feel like sometimes when you go to this whole place where it's like your kids, or your wife, like after a while, it's rough. It's rough to deal with. Like, as a fan, you're like, oh God, like, is that what it takes? Is that what it takes to get into the gear? I don't know. Like, I feel like there's already enough story there with Riddle and Rollins.
Yeah,
you don't need to go to that point.
I agree with your point that Seth probably needs to be a little more creative. But again, like, this feud has been going for like 3 months. So it's like, we just got to get to the fight pit.
Okay, that's fine. Would you like to get hopeful? Would you like to talk about AEW? What would you like to do?
Glorious. You are my only hope.
Okay.
You want me to go?
I can go.
Okay, you go, because I don't have one.
That's what I figured. So here's what I want. Straight up, this is what's going to happen on Saturday. You ready for this?
No.
Yes. You ready for this? All right. Seth Rollins is going to lose Fight Pit. Monday, he's going to win the United States Championship. Bobby Lashley is going to be pissed. Bobby Lashley is going to get ready for Saudi Arabia so he can lose to somebody important. Do you think you know who that is?
Brock Lesnar? Goldberg?
Yes. It's Brock Lesnar.
Which one?
Brock Lesnar comes back. Although you could do a good old switcheroo here and have Brock Lesnar in DC, which I think that'd be a terrible idea this quickly. People are saying that's going to happen. I think that's more of a WrestleMania thing, but
I don't really want to see DC wrestle, if we're being honest.
I think he's going to dabble. He has to dabble, but I think Brock Lesnar,
he's so fucking annoying as a commentator too.
Oh, I'm sure of it. I mean, Joe Rogan's pretty bad too, but makes a shit ton of money.
Rogan, I think Rogan actually does a nice job. You might not always agree with some of the things he says.
I just love the memes of like,
he
after
does
somebody
a nice
gets knocked
job,
out.
But like Bisping and those guys are better, I think, on commentary than fucking DC.
I do love Bisping. He's pretty funny. So yeah, I would say Brock Lesnar again against Bobby Lashley. That's where we're headed, because I don't think they're going to have the United States Championship near Brock Lesnar. He doesn't need it. He's an attraction. But Seth Rollins needs something, and they keep saying you haven't won a title in a very long time. They keep saying it. He ain't winning tag titles, folks. He ain't winning that championship from Roman Reigns. It's not happening. So might as well be the United States champion. And honestly, he's on every show. He does everything he can. Bobby's had quite a great run as United States champion, but it's Bobby versus Brock too, and it's going to happen. And I'm very excited to see this. I know it's not going to happen. I want to see Lashley go over again. On a non-concussed moment, please. Not going to happen. Brock Lesnar is going to come back and just beat the shit out of Bobby, but that's okay. We got to even it up for the tree. The three in the tree, as they say.
I believe it.
All right. That's my hope.
My hope, I am going to go to AEW because there is, I can't believe I'm about to say this. There's a match on Rampage that actually has some stakes, Nestlemania. I don't know if it's live this week because they have Battle of the Belts or if it's all part of one taping on Wednesday. Who knows? But as if you're watching, Andrade is taking on fucking that idiot 10 in a match.
Press 10.
Yeah, it's whatever. I don't care. As long as he's a fucking number, he means nothing to me. He's just a number. It's a mask versus career match where if Andrade wins, I believe he gets 10 and he throws away the mask, and I think he works in the AHF, whatever the fuck it's called, the worst fucking thing in AEW, the worst stable. Set Private Party free. It looks like they might be doing that, but it's a shame they're gonna have to fucking follow around Gout Boy, but that's neither here nor there. And Andrade's career in AEW is on the line. And my expectation is Andrade is going to win this match because they're slowly picking apart Dark Order, which I think is the right move. And I think why this is one of the smarter booking things Tony has done is that all the buzz on the internet is about how Andrade's miserable. Andrade's playing into it, how he's tweeting about this place sucks and this and that and whatever, and how he wants to go back to WWE. So there's one of two things here. One, I love that they're teasing it because they're going to make me care because we're like, oh my God, Andrade might lose. But the other thing is, if he actually does lose, and if unlike Malachi, Tony Khan lets Andrade go, he's going to go back to WWE with wifey. But on screen, Nestlemania, Zelina Vega and Andrade could reunite. She's been out with injury, and you know that we love that duo together. I don't know if Andrade's ever world champion. He's probably not, but him with Zelina, I think, is an attraction enough. And with her as his mouthpiece, he's a solid mid-carder who can dabble in the main event. We know he's a good wrestler. We know his character was always interesting, especially under Triple H. Triple H maximizes what those types of guys are and what Zelina also maximized him. So either way, like, I think we're winners. But my hope is that he actually does get out because I want Zelina and Andrade back. But if not, then they fucking made me care about a Rampage match for the first time in fucking a decade. So hashtag JC knows, hashtag JC's hopes come true, hashtag Rampage actually matters this week.
Just for that match. No, nothing else on Rampage. That
it has stakes. It has stakes.
It does have stakes. That's fine.
Well, let's look at Rampage. What else is booked right now? Oh, nothing. Okay.
There you go. I'm sure on Wednesday it'll be a fucking lightning graphic of 45 things coming at you with.
Oh, we'll be the jobber. We'll have a women's match, but we're not going to care about the women's division. We'll have a random tag match. We'll fucking put Swerve on the show. I don't know. Fucking same shit every week on Rampage.
Every single week on Rampage. It's just one match. That's all it is. One match.
But this week it has stakes, baby. A little sizzle for Mark Henry to be like, it's time for the main event. That's the best part of Rampage, by the way.
He could phone it in and do it once, but they do it every week.
I mean, he's going to be doing that in every week until he gets out of his contract and go work for Papa H, who he loves. So
of course he does. Everybody loves Papa H. Anywho, is it time to get comebacky?
Don't call it a comeback. I like explosions, Nestlemania.
Oh, yeah?
You know what makes explosions? Fucking tanks, baby. Rusev wrote in on one at WrestleMania. Shotzi in NXT. The reason why she grabbed my attention immediately as a character, it wasn't just the green hair. It was the fucking tank. Ow, ow, ow! There's just something cool about like a fucking someone coming out in a mini tank. When she first got called up and she was in the tag team with my girl Tegan Knox, who I hope to give a comeback to at some point when she gets her visa back. They came out with the tank. They had one of the probably the greatest Sad Sack Corbin segment backstage where they shot him in the nuts with the tank, which was hilarious. It was KO was also in that segment because that was when KO was trying to be nice to them and give him money and get him a new shirt. But yeah, he got shot in the nuts by the tank. There's just something about it. Like it adds something to a character that has had something missing since she lost the fucking tank. So this works. And that's why the tank gets my comeback because I like Shotzi, but a lot of the times, like I see her and I'm disappointed. But the tank, if she comes out in a tank, she can have the worst, sloppiest match ever. I don't give a fuck because she came out in a fucking tank. So boom, tank gets my comeback.
I also wanted to give my comeback to the tank because it's fucking awesome, but I won't. I will give my comeback. You ready for this, folks? I'm giving my comeback to Mrs. Wrestling. That's right. Candace LeRae gets my comeback because she did a great job in this matchup on Monday. I thought she did a great. I'm not sold on the Poison Pixie name. I think it's kind of stupid, especially since the commentary, and it didn't ring true until I watched that Seth Rollins interview where he talked about, please stop calling me Seth freaking Rollins every time in the fucking ring. But they go out of their way for that branding with like the Poison Pixie, the Poison Pixie. Just say LeRae. Just say Candace. It's okay. But anyway, the match itself, Really, really good. And here's the thing that like everybody's going to get on me about, but I will say this much. It was a great match. Candace LeRae versus Dakota Kai. Fantastic. Go out of your way to watch it. But I loved her moveset. I loved that it felt real. I felt that she did a great job. She had a lot of homage to old wrestlers, new wrestlers. You can tell what she wants to do. But the fact is, when I was watching this entire thing, is exactly why everybody's here today. I do believe she is the better wrestler in her family. She is so much fun. She's a great wrestler. She can be on my TV whenever she wants. And did you know, right after that, they sent a promo to her husband backstage going like, oh, Dexter. Walks out and does his fucking goofy goddamn Gargano gimmick. So yes, she is better than her husband. That's why she gets my comeback, because she will always be a Nestle person. Gargano, not so much.
You done? You done?
No, I'm not done. I can talk about this all day if you want to.
This is exhibit A why you're a piece of shit. Because Candace LeRae is an amazing performer. I agree with you. She is one of the more underrated women's wrestlers that has been employed by this company. She was great in NXT. She was a tag team champion. She always had good matches. She had some great matches with Io Shirai down there. We know she has chemistry with Dakota. So it's one of those things. But you have to make it, instead of just fucking praising her for how she is, you have to bring up the man in her life, because God forbid it can just be about the woman. You have to devalue Johnny Gargano in this argument and make it about how much you hate him by comparing the two. They're both amazing. They both deserve the word wrestling after their first name, but you are such a fucking troll. You know what you were doing when you put out that tweet. It wasn't about praising Candace. It was about so you could shit on Johnny Gargano, which is your favorite thing to do, which is fucking stupid. Both Candace and Johnny can be amazing, and you don't need to compare the two, because they shouldn't be compared, because they're both their own people and they're both incredible performers, and they're not even in the same divisions. But you're going out of your way to make everything about how you dislike Johnny Gargano, and that is why I just called you a piece of shit, because you do this shit all the time. You always do this where it's like, you can't just make it about somebody doing a good job. You have to draw a line in the sand. So you have to make it and pit two people against each other. It's like fucking American politics. It can't just be like, oh, this is a good policy. No, we have to make an enemy for no reason about the other side and create divide. Well, Nestlemania, on this podcast, I believe in unity. And my unity is that I believe in the entire Gargano-LeRae family. They can stand up together and both be great and don't need to be compared, because they're both incredible and they both deserve the word wrestling.
They're always going to be a comparison, because
people like you that can't.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
Because guess what, Nestlemania?
I'm not alone.
There's a lot of pieces of shit on the internet.
And you think I'm a piece of shit? I'll remember this. I'll remember that. I'll remember that you called me a piece of shit. You called me a piece of shit,
and many
via
other
the computer, not to my face in person.
Well,
you called me a piece of shit.
If Nestlemania, you know very well, if we were recording this podcast in the same
person,
I would look at you dead in the eyes and be like, "You're a piece of shit.
You are a bad person.
I am not.
You're a bad person.
See, this is you trying to spin it.
Because here it comes.
I called you a bad person, and instead of just
you did not call me a bad person. You called me a piece of shit,
which is a bad person.
No, well, that's a lot worse. You can call somebody a bad person, but you call someone a piece of shit. Right now. You said, okay, is this person over here bad person? This person over here, piece of shit. You say piece of shit. That means that person over there, piece of shit, worse than the bad person. That's what I am below that. Honestly, that's what you're describing.
Nah, because sometimes, I think they're like the same thing. It's just
no.
Piece of shit is better radio. It's the same. It's how do you say the same thing? In this argument, you're a bad person because you know what you're doing. When you said that tweet, wrong, you probably had the biggest Grinch smile on your face because you're like, hey, I'm gonna get people all fired up, and I know someone like Guthrie's gonna come to my side. It's gonna make me feel even better because he's as big of a troll as I am. He has you little spike up your orange hair, and you go into your bridge, and you're like. You know what you were doing.
We did have an idea for Nestle's Troll House t-shirt. So
that's an OG.
That's an OG one. We should probably bring that back. But Nestle's Troll House should be on tpublic.com/jobbernknocker. Go find all those shirts, especially Hot Fire and Monday Night Rerun. Help us out. But to get to the point, she's a better wrestler than her husband from beginning to middle and end. So she's great. She wrestles with here's the thing. She'll always have respect for me because she wrestled with the dudes. Intergender wrestling. She was kind of the catalyst for it. So you know what? She can hang with the men. She did a great job. She gets to WWE. She smokes it. She's doing great. She comes back after being a mom, does a great job. She's awesome. I'm for the women to get anything and everything they deserve. I think she's doing a wonderful job. I am interested in everything she does.
Yeah, and we agree on that. But you had to make it about her fucking husband.
No, I
Because you had to get that dig in there. You're
well,
like,
listen. Is it
needly nestle? Gonna needle his little shit in.
is it a dig? If you
Oh,
believe
it's a
it?
fucking dig.
Is it a dig if it's true? Is it
No, it's
true?
not
I think
true,
it's true. I think
No,
it's true.
because you know it's not true.
Are you saying to
Stop.
me that Johnny Wrestling is a better wrestler than Candace LeRae
I
right
think
now?
they're both great.
No,
they're
dodge
both
it. Don't
great.
dodge it. No.
Okay,
You
okay,
give me
ready,
shit.
ready,
You give me
ready?
shit. Is he better? Yes or no?
In terms of pure wrestling,
No
he's
no
better.
qualifiers. Yes or no? Be a boy.
Overall,
be a man.
Overall, he's better
No,
too.
don't say overall.
she's
Just
great.
say yes.
Overall,
Just say
she's
yes.
better too, but she's great.
Just say yes. Draw a line in the sand. Candace LeRae, you think is not as good as her husband. That's what you're saying.
I don't think you compare the two because they're never going to wrestle. So it's a moot
Doesn't
point.
matter.
They're both incredibly talented, and
At
you
the
were
end
trying
of
to
the
troll.
day, at
You were
the
trying
end
to
of the
troll.
day,
That you were trying to. That's what you were doing. You took something that was a great compliment to Candace LeRae, which she deserves it as the Young Bucks' favorite wrestler.
Absolutely.
We know she's amazing, but you had to take that and fucking get your little needly nestle in to fucking take your little stab at Johnny Wrestling.
I listen. If the man stopped chewing up scenery and backstage promos and actually just wrestled like he can, I'd have no problem with the guy.
Go back in your trash can, Oscar.
It's the all.
Let us eat our
unauthentic
cookies.
Yuck. He might as well be Fozzie Bear from the Muppets when he comes out. That's what I'm trying to say. At least Candace LeRae comes out and looks the part, sounds the part, doesn't act like a fucking buffoon. That's what I'm trying to say. She's a better everything. Point taken, Nestle. She's better in general.
It's infinitely.
She's better for my TV in general.
Well, because you're a sexist. I don't know.
JC needs a timeout button. That's what he just said.
I need to put you on timeout.
No, put JC on timeout.
No. He wants you put on timeout.
No, I don't give a shit what Bert wants.
Everyone wants it. Put up TJ's tweet. What did TJ say?
TJ said JC is my hero. It's hard to confuse both of you because you're both the same person, essentially. So.
No, because TJ is fucking smart.
No, TJ's not smart.
Go back in your trash can so I can put the lid on you, Oscar.
Listen, you want to Photoshop me as Oscar the Grouch with a green face? Go right ahead.
Let us enjoy our cookies. I'm the cookie monster. I love cookies.
Cookie also has to have fruit now. You wouldn't know that, but you have to have fruit because the kids can eat all cookies.
I also like fruit. I ate a banana this morning. I'll eat an
There's
apple.
no fruit monster.
Peaches. Yeah, because
peaches
here's the thing. Here's the thing. He's a smart cookie monster. He doesn't want to die young, so he's got to mix in, his.
He would have had diabetes by now after the 30
Also,
years
if you eat a lot of cookies, maybe he's a little constipated. Fruit helps you poop. So he's really.
You're gonna say that cookies make you not poop?
Depending on the type of cookies, if they're thick, maybe your stomach just builds them up. Maybe it's like a blockade
you're not lactose intolerant, are you? You have no idea what.
I'm a little lactose intolerant. I can't have milk or ice cream really anymore. I can have cheese though.
It gets to a point where your body just gives up on you. Yeah. Do you see how we just got into a fight and then we just talked about something like normal human beings? It's very odd. We have a very odd relationship.
Yeah. I called you a piece of shit.
Yeah, whatever. If it really mattered, I would have cried by now, but it's fine.
I'll cry after the show.
It's true. I'll go find a broom closet at work. It'll be great. My whole all the employees will be looking at me like I'm some kind of weirdo. It's fine.
You can hang out with Jan Etor.
Jan Etor. Yes, exactly. So there's my comeback. A stellar. If I knew a tweet was going to get me this much attention, folks.
Oh, come on. You probably didn't even hit send yet. And you were fucking giggling like a little girl waiting for the notifications.
Listen,
don't be stupid. I may call you a lot of things, but you know what you're doing.
I do.
You are smart in there.
Oh,
that's
am.
The problem is you're an evil one with the smarts. You're the ones we're going to watch out for.
Oh, so you're saying I'm smart. So I'm a smart piece of shit.
Let's go to the big. Yeah, you are. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Big ol' finish. Before we get to Extreme Rules on SmackDown, we have the rematch. Gunther defending his IC championship against Sheamus. Thoughts?
Boned up, ready to go. This is going to be my main event of SmackDown. Absolutely.
We also have hashtag JC's main event, which is pew 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 Ricochet versus Solo Sikoa.
I think Solo is going to chop him. Here's the other thing. You know what?
Ricochet is going to sell his soul.
Oh, yeah.
To fucking Solo. He's going to have so much fun.
Here's what I want. I want Solo to incorporate the Umaga thumb. That's what I want. Because the spike would go so well with Sequoia. I keep saying Sequoia. I can't even say it.
You fucking
Solo.
Sequoia.
Do you know what it is? I have a problem with my brain where I put too many syllables and things.
Yeah, and you like trees. It's okay. You hug it.
I do like trees.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
Solo Sequoia. Sequoia. Say it. Sequoia. So yes, I'm excited for that. Gunther is going to beat Sheamus again. It's an absolute banger. Can't wait for it. If they don't have a shirt that says banger after banger after banger, they're losing money on WWEshop.com. Honest to God.
There's like
I know you specifically would wear a shirt that says banger after banger. You would wear that out to the bar and try to get up chicks.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
I'm just saying.
I usually just go topless from looking at pickup chicks.
Topless. Show
show off the nips. But before we get to Extreme Rules, we're actually going to go to Monday Night Raw because we have Lashley versus Rollins for the U.S. title. You predicted Rollins will win. I tend to agree. We also have the payoff to the feud that has been happening since they got there. Theory versus Gargano, likely one because I think there'll be multiple. Speaking of
this is going to have a whole bunch of schmaz. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for you guys to talk about how great Johnny Wrestling is, only to have this broken up into a 6-man tag. Can't wait.
Because, like I said, this is only going to be one. This feud is so good. They should just do a best of 7 of this instead of fucking Math Boy.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to be this match. They stop. Alpha Academy gets involved. Here comes KO. That's not enough. Here comes Braun Strowman roar. And then we have a 6-man tag. And at that moment, I'm going to die a little inside because all I can think about is here's a match people want to see. It'll get ruined and be like, we'll just save it for a pay-per-view later. That's what they'll do to us. They do it to us all the time, folks.
That's TV for you. But Nestlemania, should we get extreme?
Please, let's get extreme. Our boy TJ of the JK does a great job every time doing predictions. He has lined up our sheet for us. Let's talk about Extreme Rules, folks. Where do you want to start?
So we have 6 matches booked. We'll start off with a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, 6-man tag. The Brawling Brutes featuring the fella Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch taking on Imperium of Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser. I love the way Samantha says that. And Giovanni Vinci. Nestlemania, this is a great match. I expect Gunther to win on, what did I say, Friday? So on Saturday, man, does that mean logic tells me to take the Brutes? Fuck it. I'm taking Imperium. Why not? Even though it's
that's not hard. I'm also picking Imperium.
Changing my mind. It's the Donnybrook match. Give me the Brawling Brutes.
Wow, you're picking Donnybrooks?
Yeah.
The Donnybrooks themselves?
Give me the Brawling Brutes to win the Donnybrook.
Why are you picking that? Because it doesn't matter?
Because I can't fucking make up my mind on this match, so I'm just going to go with whose gimmick it is.
I mean, here's the thing. I tend to agree with you. I should probably agree that it is.
Well, I thought your way the first, and then I literally just flip-flopped as we were talking.
Well, there you
are. So I don't have a clue. I'm just guessing.
Calling me a Republican in this, and then you said flip-flop. So it's this is a very political debate we've had today. Moving on.
We have a I Quit match featuring Edge and Finn Balor with the Judgment Day of Damian Priest, Dom Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley. This match might as well be called an I Schmoz match because we're going to get a lot of that, but it's going to end with Finn saying I quit.
I agree. I don't like this match.
I love it because it's Edge and Finn. So,
well, right.
Edge I hate
any other match. In any other match, fine.
But
I'm all for it.
I'm gonna love
match. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna love 99% of it. Just the ending. He's gonna go. But Finn will probably be like, quit. He'll sell it. I don't know. Maybe they'll quit for him.
In that Irish version, he'll just go, I quit. I quit.
Wow, that is not a good accent at all.
Don't ask me to do an accent. I just did it on the fly.
Next up, ladder match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair, who's on her own, except for not in this case because she has Alexa Bliss and Asuka with her, taking on Bayley with Damage Control, the tag team champions of Dakota Kai and Io Sky. I think Bayley's going to win. I really do. I think a ladder match is an easy way. Bianca doesn't have to be pinned. This is going to be schmoz tactic. Maybe we get a 4th member of Damage Control here. There's a lot of possibilities, but give me Bayley to be the new champ.
I am so shocked you picked Bayley after that horrible.
I want Bianca to win, but I think Bayley makes sense here.
Oh, brother, what did I just do? I don't know. So I would say this much. I think you're wrong because the way that they had it makes no sense. Like, why would you have Bayley pose and then lose? Like,
because on SmackDown, Bianca can pose.
If Bianca poses on SmackDown, I'm wrong. But Bianca probably won't be on SmackDown. Therefore, I'm right. I'm picking Bianca Belair.
Okay, maybe Triple H is just trying to fuck with your logic. We'll see. As the person with the big leading predictions,
give me a break.
With the person leading predictions, I go with me, but that's just me. Strap match, Nestlemania's main event. Drew McIntyre taking on Karrion Kross with Scarlett. I don't give a fuck about this match, but I feel like Kross has to win by hook or by crook,
or by straitjacket. I don't know if this is the patented 4 corners tapping strap match, or if it's just we have a strap and there's pinfall and submission.
Will it be better than the CM Punk MJF strap match? The answer is no, not even close.
Well, that was a dog collar match.
That's true. Same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
It's pretty much the same fucking
One's
thing.
allowed to bleed. This will not be allowed to bleed. Might have some welts. But that's it.
They're still dumb concepts.
Okay. I did not think that's what you just said. So thank you for saying that.
Did you pick Kross?
I did pick Kross because it's stupid because he's had 1 match and 45 fucking promos. TikTok. Where's my fucking imagination? TikTok. Let's do this.
Fight pit match where Daniel Cormier will serve as the special guest referee. Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins. He asked Vince to drop it a long time ago, but they don't want to. So he stuck with it. I think, oh man. So you said you think Riddle's going to win and then Rollins wins on Monday?
Yes.
I think that makes a lot of sense, but I have a weird feeling that Seth Rollins might actually win this match, but I'm very torn in it because it's Riddle's. Oh, fuck, man. I kind of like when someone has their match type, like they have it as like they always win it, especially this is the first time we've seen the main roster. But, I don't like this match at all.
I'm excited for this.
I mean, predicting I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited for it too.
I think Riddle wins. Go ahead, be a big boy. Go ahead, pick your Seth Rollins because that's a safe bet.
It's not a safe bet. Riddle's a safe bet.
Not with DC in there. I'd say it's very odd.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the other thing of why I think it helps Riddle. But
Mr. In the lead, can he, folks, afford to lose?
Yeah,
this is great TV, by the way, and radio. So come on,
give me
pick a fucking thing.
I'm gonna pick Riddle because fucking Cormier.
Yeah, because you're
because of fucking Cormier. Unless if he turned heel, that'd be cool. You know what? Fucking give me Seth. I don't give a fuck. Give me Seth. 2 flip-flops on the show. Let's go. I'm like fucking John Kerry out here, that fucking loser.
Wow,
main event time.
Reference.
Extreme Rules match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship.
Not the main event.
Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. Like we said, Extreme Rules, which means there is going to be a way for Liv to somehow hold on to their title if they want her to, or make Ronda look even more like the baddest woman on the planet. So I'll let you go first on this one.
I believe somehow, some way, Ronda Rousey wins this.
Okay. Well, I don't think that's hard. It's easy. She can just go in there and beat the fuck out of her.
No, that's why I said somehow, some way, and made you think I was going to pick Liv, but I picked.
Yeah, I'm going to take Liv because I'm still waiting for the golden shovel to return and fucking bury Ronda under shit and giving Liv the win here. Because I don't know, I feel like they're going to milk this Liv reign a little bit. So if it isn't Charlotte, it'll be some other random shit. So give me Liv to retain and an upset.
Okay, I put Liv down. We're all done with our predictions. Can I just say something very quick before we go to AEW?
Yeah.
I'm kind of fatigued with this White Rabbit stuff.
Yeah,
I'm a little fatigued. We didn't talk about it, but I'm a little fatigued, folk, because here's the thing. It's getting to a point where it's like it leads to one thing, leads to another thing, that leads to another thing. And
it's gonna keep leading to the next thing, so you think it's coming, and then it's gonna come when you least expect it. Like it's not coming Sunday, or Saturday. We agree, right?
Something has to happen on Sunday,
more teases,
Saturday.
No. And I'm beginning to think more and more that it has to do with Alexa, because some of the shit this week, I mean, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, just post a GIF of me being like, I don't know what's going on, but what I do understand is that a lot of it has to do with Alexa, and she kind of like killed the Fiend. So whether he's trying to enact revenge or like maybe he goes to enact revenge and can't because he's in love with her or some bullshit. Like, I think it links to Alexa. So I think somehow, some way that'll be linked, but it's not close. It's
driving me insane with the magic blue, eye puzzles and the zip codes. And then they called the record, store, and they said, hey, feed your head or whatever. And he said, let me in. I thought that was cool. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff makes sense, but we're getting to a point where it's just like, how much anticipation is too much? That's what I'm wondering.
There's no such thing, because
you really think so?
I don't think so, because this is like all people talk about it and they're looking at everything, and they're probably looking at things that mean nothing and making it mean something. So it's making it where it's like when you have a week like this where there was just a lot of random matches.
Just inundated with stuff that just I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, this zip code goes to this. This thing goes to that. There's a GIF over here of the pig and the wolf. Could it be? It's like he literally is driving you insane. He is. In some way, he's driving you insane. Some people are saying it's Corbin. Some people because of the big bad wolf. I get that. Some people are saying it's Bray Wyatt. Some people say it's... I couldn't believe some of the stuff people are saying.
It's going to be Wyatt, but how funny would it be if it was Joe Gacy?
Yes. Right?
I love Joe Gacy, but man, they really ruined his gimmick when they made him supernatural, because it was so cool with the acceptance shit. But then I know they fired Harland and that kind of threw it off, but whatever.
Yeah. The other thing, sorry, very quickly. The one thing that you said about the JC thing, which was really funny to me, is do you think at some point on Saturday we see something other than a QR code? Or a light dimming or something.
There's going to be something.
There's
going to be some random shit, and I think something's going to fuck with Alexa, because obviously she's part of this ladder match by being out there. So I don't know. It's going to be the more of the same, though, I think, overall.
I'm fatigued. I mean, I see that Samson thing, and all I could think about was Elias Samson.
He could be part of it. I mean,
wouldn't that be interesting as a Wyatt 6?
We assume he's off TV to regrow the beard.
Right.
So,
I just think that I actually do believe there are going to be 6 people with Bray Wyatt, like including Bray Wyatt. I think that's a real thing. I think it's a real stable. Because honestly, Wyatt family needs to go. It is a dead thing. But the Fiend was kind of cool. This next iteration, I can see the Wyatt 6 sitting around a fucking like Alice in Wonderland tea party set, fucking talking to people. They'd be like, would you like to talk to the head of the table? I'd talk to the head of the table. And they make fun of the bloodline. Like, I can see that fucking thing happening. So, it's interesting.
Should we go to NXT?
Yeah, let's get it over with.
NXT and AEW are loaded this week. In NXT, I'm going to save this one so you don't fucking lose your mind. But we have Wendy Chu versus Lash Legend. Whatever. We have Pretty Deadly State of the Commonwealth address, which I'm excited
Love
for.
it. Love it.
We have a 6-woman tag between Toxic Attraction and Alba Fire, Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. And then we have the Grayson Waller effect with Roxanne as Cora as guests, which if you've been on Twitter this week, Waller's just been fucking with both of them, posting like photos of them as kids, calling them marks as they pose with wrestlers. And then Roxanne actually dug one up of Waller with Candace LeRae, which made it even funnier. So that'll be a fun time because we know Grayson's incredible and he's going to bring out the best in this feud, which is kind of cooled off. But then Nestlemania, we have 2 North American ladder qualifying matches. One we have in this best of 3 bullshit between Nathan Frazier, I Have Cool theme music, taking on the fucking math nerd. I don't give a fuck. Give me Frazier. Give me Frazier because he's cooler, but I think Math Boy might win. The other one, though, is the Adam Nessel special. It is Andre Chase versus Von Wagner.
Oh, baby. I cannot wait for this matchup. I am so excited for Von Wagner to get in that ladder match.
I think he better win. No, fuck. Give me Wagner.
I think here's the thing. As much as a Von Wagner I am, I think that there's more momentum with Andre Chase.
It doesn't matter. I think he's the big man for this.
He's the catches everybody.
You need a big man in the ladder match. I think the Von Wagner is the guy.
Here's the thing. If Von Wagner wins that fucking championship, oh my God, am I going to be insufferable? I cannot wait for that shit. Here's the thing. I'd love to see Nathan Frazier win. I think that'd be a cool thing.
I would like to see Nathan Frazier.
Wesley or Nathan Frazier. That's what
I have a feeling it's going to be fucking Math Boy though. I don't even know his name.
You don't like cool.
The gimmick might be one of the worst gimmicks they've ever come up with.
Yes.
And just like the character, like obviously when you put a mask on someone, it's hard to relate to them, but it's just like, yeah, he can do flippy flippies, but what separates him? Like, I know it's the A-Kid and I thought the A-Kid was cool. I know they had to change it, but like, get rid of the fucking math gimmick and maybe I'll kind of care.
Every time you say the math guy, the math gimmick, all I can think about is here comes Good Will Hunting. Like I can't think like anything else now. It's just like solving equations is more important than winning matches. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah, get it off my TV, as you would say. We head over to AEW where they have a equally long show. We'll piss through some of this because Luchasaurus is in action. Cool. We have National Scissoring Day, so that means we get acclaimed in Daddy Ass Fun. I'm excited for that. We have Roosh versus Hangman in the random match of the week. We have a 6-woman tag between Toni Storm, Athena, and Willa Nightingale taking on Jamie Hayter, Serena Deeb, and Penelope Ford, more of the same that we've been seeing. We have Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal in the I don't give a fuck about Jay Lethal match. Then we have a TNT title match between Wardlow and possible comeback opportunity, Brian Cage. This match actually could be interesting. I do want to see it. And then we have Danielson and Garcia taking on Jericho and Sammy. But then we have the only match that I really, truly care about, and that is MJF and Wheeler Yuta because MJF don't miss.
I think the MJF thing is great. I don't think people care enough about Wheeler Yuta. I think.
Are you kidding me? Everyone loves Wheeler Yuta except for me. I like to shit on him because he's boring.
I think he's a great wrestler, but I don't know if he can connect with people. That's the thing. Like there's a certain hardcore following for
yeah, he has a connection with those people because they'll defend. I mean,
but not in a general sense. I think they've done a really terrible job.
Well, that's why they put him in the Blackpool Cuckold Club because he gets to hang around the guys who actually matter, and everyone's like, oh, he's with William Regal, John Moxley, Brian Danielson, Cesaro. He's so fucking cool. He's a fucking nerd. You might as well put him with Axiom.
Wow.
Wheeler Math Nerd Yuta.
Hold on.
MJF.
Top 3 people you do not like on your TV right now. Is it Axiom? Is it Wheeler Yuta? Is it somebody else?
Axiom, it's all gimmick. I hate it. He's a phenomenal wrestler.
But if you see somebody right now, I want a top 3 before we leave. What is it?
God, that's really put me on a spot. Axiom. Wheeler Yuta can stay on my TV. It's just he's annoying. The
Vaughn?
No, the Vaughn I'm fine with. He plays a role.
He
plays a role. I need
It's fine.
someone.
As long as it's fun, we can stop there. It's fine. That's all. I was.
I have to
hoping for.
think about that because I don't want to miss
JC's
someone.
top rankings need to return, I guess, at this point.
Yeah,
Or maybe
the bottom
lower rankings.
Bottom rankings.
Bottom rankings. Yeah, you can just talk about people's bottoms. It'll be great.
Yeah.
On that note,
any other thoughts on the Dynamite card?
I don't give a shit about Dynamite.
What about Andrade versus Ted on Rampage?
Well, apparently our boy Ray in the chat has put out some Andrade tweets that are these tweets are not necessarily. I wonder if it's a work shoot. He's talking.
He's been doing it for weeks. He's been shitting on AEW.
Well, he's shitting specifically on Sammy Guevara, which I'm curious to see where this ends up.
Well, that's everyone does that. That's easy.
Well, yeah, but Sammy wrote back to him saying something very not storyline driven.
Well, because Andrade kind of put it out there, and we kind of heard this at the time that he didn't like how hard Andrade was hitting him, but that's kind of Andrade's style. But whatever. I mean, Sammy, no matter what Sammy does, is a fucking genius because he gets heat, and whatever he does, people are gonna hate. So maybe Andrade's just trying to get himself over. I don't fucking know. But also, go ahead.
He did say in the tweet, I just want to make sure that everybody knows this. He said, "You'd be jobless if it wasn't for your daddy-in-law, and you're mad at me, but you failed to get over for a second time." Go back. To WWE.
He's right about both, which is incredible. But it's like you still hate him for it. Like I like Andrade, so yeah. Even me, who likes Sammy, that pisses me off. But it's just like the kid's a fucking genius, man. That's why he ain't going anywhere. The more you hate him, the more he gets over. One more match, Nestlemania, on this Battle of the Belts, which is a thing. Pac defends against Trent.
That's a thing.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh my god,
that's
Trent
the only belt being defended so far.
Trent should not be on my TV. I don't give a shit.
Nestle hates the best friends.
I hate all of them except
I love Orange Cassidy, and since he's around them, that they're fine with me. As long as he is around them, Orange Cassidy is fucking job security. Cling to that fucking thumb. Cling to it, Trent, and fucking whatever your name is.
Chuck Taylor,
other friend. Cling to Orange for all you got, because if not, you'll be in New Japan permanently.
On that note, since we're not best friends and I'm a piece of shit, we'll see you next week with more Jobber Knockery.
Shut up, Tony. I miss Jade.